Thank you. Today I'll be doing a presentation on cloud accounting. My name is Nick Jingo. So what is the cloud in the first place? The cloud is a place where files, data, and software are stored, and that you'll be able to access this information from any place, anywhere, pretty much anywhere in the world. So where did cloud accounting come from? So there's 4 stages of cloud accounting. The first stage is manual processing. The second stage is desktop solutions or desktop software. The third stage is hosted desktop solutions, and the fourth stage is software as a service, also known as SaaS. So let's talk about desktop software. Desktop software are softwares that you have to download onto your computer. Some examples of desktop software would be QuickBooks that you have to download. I've used that in my internship, and then we also use CCH systems, which we had also to download onto computers and laptops. These were the CCH systems. They were used in tax returns for 1040s, and then QuickBooks is used, for example, for bookkeeping. The downside of desktop software is that if you and your client are using the same exact, so if you're both using QuickBooks, we have different versions of it, then you and your client have to download the different versions so that you can see the work that has been done. The next item that I'll be talking about is hosted desktop solutions. This is an application that is being run on the computer or the laptop. And instead of having to save and send files back and forth between the client, this is a little bit better because once you update any data that you've worked on, then the client will be able to see what has been worked on right away afterwards. Now let's talk about service as a software. This is similar to a hosted solution. The difference between the hosted solution and SaaS is it is not an actual desktop application. It is instead a web application that is on the internet, and you and your client can see the data that is being worked on at the same exact time. An example of this would be like Gmail. So just sending emails back and forth. Or another one, an accounting example of this would be QuickBooks Online. And I also use this in my internship, and it was a lot more helpful, especially for my managers or anything like that, because they were able to see, the client was able to see any work that was done, and if any data was wrong, then we would be able to fix it right away and then send it back to them, and then they would be able to see it and make sure that it was correct. So now let's talk about some myths about the cloud or cloud accounting that exists today. The first myth is that the cloud is actually not secure. This is extremely false. The reason that this is false is because it is actually safer than locally storing any information on a computer or on any servers that are close to you. So on your computer, this may be prone to hackers or anything like that. But the cloud is actually a lot safer than locally storing any information. The second myth about cloud accounting is that it makes you spend less time with clients, and this is also very false because with the cloud, it lets you do real-time work with a client and allows them to see the work that is being done, and it actually provides more value meeting time with them, so you're not just wasting time away. So it makes you a lot more efficient. The third myth is that the cloud is a fad, and this is also very false. The cloud accounting, it brings in more revenue opportunities for everybody, and it also decreases the barriers in the industry, the barriers of entry in the industry for accounting. And the last myth about cloud accounting is that moving to the cloud is hard. And and this is very false also. Using the cloud is actually easier than using traditional technologies. The reason as to why is because the reason as to why this is a myth is because, for example, SaaS technologies and softwares will only allow, or it'll only require you to log in, and that's it. So that's the reason why that is a myth. So why use cloud accounting? Well, cloud accounting, it allows you and your clients to partner together, and it lets you answer any questions that the client may have. Most accountants today are still transactional and proactive accountants. So everyone is kind of moving to cloud accounting. An example of transactional proactive services today is tax compliance, because we come when the client has any questions that they have. And here's a little quiz. What is one stage of cloud accounting? Of course, it was SaaS.